This year's E3 was all about the games. The hardware has been in the hands of gamers for over 6 months now, and they're now hungry for more on their new consoles. So the big three showcased their upcoming titles at this year's event to get you excited for the next year and beyond. And we were lucky enough to be on the show floor, so here are just some of our highlights that we think will bring the best out of the latest consoles. First up is Alien Isolation. Taking the game franchise away from its FPS roots, it's now heading into survival horror territory, and the demo at E3 put you in a small area with the alien, where the only object is to escape. While being incredibly difficult, it was at the same time truly terrifying.
Alien Isolation, I guess, is the alien game that we've always wanted to play, a game that goes back to the roots of the series, back to Ridley Scott's Haunted House in Space, with a new character who's very much underpowered and underprepared to face what she's confronted with. You know, we really wanted to give the player a sense of what it would be like to encounter Ridley Scott's original Alien.
Next up, after a pretty dire start for Nintendo's new console, they seem to be right back on track to start turning things around with the likes of Super Smash Bros. And the brand new Zelda on the horizon. But for us, it was the brand new game Splatoon that impressed us the most on the show floor. An online shooter which, instead of bullets, you use paint to splatter the enemy. You can cover the floor with your team's colour. The more colour, the speedier you can get around the map by turning into a squid and swimming through the goo. All in all, making a great standout title for Nintendo. Up next is Ubisoft's tactical shooter, Rainbow Six Siege, which was, in our opinion, the best FPS on show at E3. The demo showed teams of 5 fighting it out in the confined spaces of a suburban home. One team must breach while the other fortifies, with a hostage in between. It's a much more intelligent FPS multiplayer offering than the raft already on offer.
Well, at its core, Rainbow Six is a first-person tactical shooter, and the tactical word is really important there. The core of Rainbow Six is really playing together, preparing your tactics, thinking through what you're going to do, and just executing that the best way you can. Now, Rainbow Six Siege, I think, concentrates this a lot. All the gameplay we have built revolves around these 3 pillars of team play, tactics, and tension. One of the aspects of our game is the one life system. Essentially, you have 1 life, so when you start your game, if you get shot and die, you are dead. It doesn't mean you're not participating in the team anymore. You have tools to still be part of the team. You can explore through the cameras and through the environment. You can still look and help your teammates. So it's not as if you stop playing as soon as you're dead, on the contrary.
Next is Ubisoft's open-world first-person shooter Far Cry 4. Now set in the Himalayas, it follows on from the success of Far Cry 3, with more intense open-world moments and with gorgeous next-gen visuals.
So in Far Cry 4, we create another fantastic open world for players. This time we take you to the Himalayas. So from the foothills to the very snowy mountain peaks. It's a fictional place that we created called Kirat. It's based on a lot of reference from Nepal and from Bhutan. And obviously in Kirat, you're going to meet Pagan Min, who's a despotic, lunatic, self-imposed king who's come to rule over this land.
And finally is Project Morpheus. While it only got a fleeting mention during Sony's press conference, it had a pretty strong presence on the show floor, and pulling in praise from developers and gamers alike. While it's obvious that it's still quite away from hitting the shop shelves, what was on display shows that it's an important part of the PlayStation 4's long-term plans, and we'll be seeing much more virtual reality excitement over the coming months. And obviously this is just a fraction of the hundreds of games that were on show at this year's E3, but keep it locked to our gaming page for interviews and previews from the hottest games.